The Spurs are on track to have by far the worst record of any one-pick recipient in NBA history. Source: The Spurs are currently 528.0.152, which is the 10th lowest single-season winning percentage in NBA history. The 1998-1999 Clippers have the next worst record for a one-pick recipient at 941.180. They drafted Michael Olajuwon with the one pick that season. The team around Wembanyama is clearly awful, but will this historically bad season for a one pick have any ramifications for his career? Spurs is lucky to have Pistons this season. I think Pop is tanking again for one more high draft pick. I really don't understand why they're so bad. Like they have some solid players, don't they? Devin Vassell is good, Keldon Johnson is good, right? I actually think Popovich will be judged more harshly for this season than Wemby. On pace for the third worst net rating of all time. Even if we were purposefully tanking, this is quite a concerning state to be in. Being bad with number one pick, becoming mediocre with number one pick. They are tanking. Spurs going for back-to-back one picks. This is a bit misleading. Teams regress to the mean as the season goes on, i.e. you'll see more teams with sub.200 records 20 games in than 40, 60, 80 games in. Ramifications? Why, yes. Wemby will have a better team and will avoid Luka's situation. Their perimeter defense is likely the worst in the league, so any team that shoots the three well beats them. Check the record. Only when teams shot piss poor from three did the Spurs ever win. You suckers, though tanking was over just because Wemby's in town? The Spurs are doing worse this season with Wemby than they did last season without him. Don't worry, they'll tank and get another one pick. The Spurs' way to winning. Wemby is completely blameless. He's doing awesome for a 19-year-old rookie. The roster around him is just so bad. And we all are forced to watch 20 Spurs games on national broadcasts. What a joke. Spurs will be laughing, and the with Wemby is going to set them up nicely for the long run. Hot take: Pop is past his best before date. I feel like teams who had the top 3 or 5 picks in the previous draft should not pick in again in the top 5 the year after. We should not be rewarding atrocious basketball. Small sample size. They'll win more games at the end of the season once all guys have gelled. Everyone has an expiry date. Even great coaches like Pop and Belichick. I don't think it says much about the overall future of Wemby and the team. I think they'll be fine, but it is crazy that after all that hype and fuss over the Wembanyama sweepstakes we get this. It's amazing how Pop went from GOAT coach to perennial, unable to make the playoffs coach without Tim Duncan. Bro, this is next level tanking. I have often seen and heard about unicorn rookies immediately improving teams they are on: Bird, Magic, Jordan, Shaq, LeBron. Should Wembanyama be held to these standards as well? If not, why? Anyone who thinks this is a reflection on Wemby doesn't know ball. I haven't been following this season too much, so it's a surprise to me how bad the Spurs are doing. By the amount of Wemby highlights I keep seeing online, I thought they were having a winning season. Lamau. If only the Spurs had the greatest coach ever to actually force their lesser players to feed the 7 feet 4 inches genetic freak. Wemby confirmed bust. Shouldn't Pistons be this since they have Gate? That's how you get 2x first picks. Master tank job. These guys are tank maxing. This says more about point Sochin than Wemby. Spurs do this to stockpile. The league won't do anything. BC, they love Pop. Spurs, oh no. Can we have another one pick? I swear we won't pick a franchise-altering player again. When you overtanked. I don't think their awfulness will have ramifications for Wemby's career. Eye test tells you Wemby is their best player. If anything, the Spurs guards are proving themselves to be selfish and ineffective by not passing the rock. Fuck the Spurs. That's honestly on them. I've watched a few games and it's like they just don't want to pass to Wemby even though he's wide open. The Pistons' historically streak has overshadowed the Spurs. they've been awful too. When you allow and accept losing, you have to be careful you don't create a loser culture. They got Wemby and Sissoko, and they can't make it work. It's very odd. Remind me 5 years. When Wemby is 24. The team around Wembanyama is clearly awful, but will this historically bad season for a one-pick have any ramifications for his career? Not really, as they're tanking for draft picks. They're tanking to be fair. Wemby is still extremely raw compared to where his ceiling could be. There's no need to rush anything immediately. As long as their culture is still good. Wemby on literally any other team would have created more compelling basketball. I thought this was the best run franchise in the sport.